The crystalline spires of Zephyria Prime gleamed weakly under the dying light of their ancient sun. Ambassador Kithra pressed her elongated fingers against the viewing port of the council chamber, watching as another transport vessel limped into orbit, its hull scarred by the relentless attacks of the Void Swarm. "The outer colonies have fallen," reported Commander Vex, his usual stoic demeanor cracking under the weight of defeat. "Kepler 7, New Celestia, the mining stations of the Helix Nebula, all consumed." The assembled representatives of the Galactic Coalition shifted uneasily in their seats. For 3 millennia, their advanced civilizations had maintained peace through diplomacy and technological superiority. The Zephyrians, with their mastery of energy manipulation, the silicon-based crystallites, who could compute reality itself, the gaseous ethereals, who existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, all had contributed to an era of unprecedented prosperity. But the Void Swarm cared nothing for their achievements. The creatures had emerged from the space between galaxies, a writhing mass of dark matter given malevolent consciousness. They consumed everything: energy, matter, even the fabric of spacetime itself. Conventional weapons passed through them harmlessly. Shields provided only temporary protection before being devoured along with the ships they were meant to protect. "Perhaps we should consider the unthinkable," whispered Elder Morvain of the Celestial Archive, her translucent form flickering with anxiety. "The humans." A collective shudder ran through the chamber. Humanity, that primitive species from the backwater's spiral arm, had been quietly observed by the Coalition for centuries. Their homeworld, Earth, was a violent, chaotic place where beings killed their own kind over resources and ideologies. They possessed no telepathy, no energy manipulation, no quantum consciousness. They were considered barely sentient by galactic standards. "They are savages," protested High Curator Zen. "They still use projectile weapons and chemical propulsion. What could such primitives possibly offer us?" Kithra turned from the viewport, her opalescent skin rippling with an emotion that had no translation in human language, a mixture of desperation and reluctant hope. "They are the only species in known space that has never known true peace. While we evolved beyond violence, they perfected it." The debate raged for hours, but as reports continued to arrive of systems falling to the swarm, the inevitable decision was reached. A quantum message was sent across the void, not to any government or organization, but broadcast openly to the species as a whole. "To the humans of Earth, we are dying. We who thought ourselves your superiors now beg for your help. The Void Swarm consumes all in its path. Our science has failed us. Perhaps your unique nature can succeed where we have not." The response came faster than expected. Not from Earth's official representatives, but from something calling itself the Terran Defense Initiative, apparently a hastily assembled coalition of their military forces, criminal organizations, and civilian volunteers. Their message was brief and unsettling. "We're on our way. Prepare for arrival in 72 hours. Warning, we don't fight clean." When the human fleet arrived, it defied every expectation. Their ships were angular, brutal things, more weapons platform than vessel. They moved with an aggressive unpredictability that made the Coalition admirals nervous. But it worked. The humans didn't try to understand the Void Swarm or communicate with it. They simply attacked with a ferocity that stunned the galaxy. They used nuclear weapons as opening gambits, turned asteroids into kinetic bombardment platforms, and deployed something they called relativistic kill vehicles that punched holes through spacetime itself. But most disturbing of all was their adaptability. When conventional weapons failed, they began using exotic matter bombs that collapsed local spacetime. When the swarm adapted to that, they deployed weapons that targeted the quantum foundations of reality itself. They fought with a creativity born of millennia of warfare against their own kind. Captain Martinez of the human flagship contacted Kithara directly. "You called us primitives," she said, her scarred face grinning fiercely on the view screen. "Maybe you were right. But sometimes the universe needs primitives." As the Void Swarm began its retreat for the first time in the conflict, Kithara realized they had indeed received the help they prayed for. The question that now haunted her was whether they had invited salvation, or something far more dangerous, into their peaceful galaxy.